Okay, Dr. Shabir Ali, here's a question from a Christian. He said, I've heard that Muslims respect Jews and Christians as people of the book.
Muslims use this tactic very often to make Christians more sympathetic towards Islam and Muslims. They put billboards up, write articles, their stupid Western allies support them in that again, and even use deceptive arguments like, no Muslim is a Muslim unless he believes in Jesus. Organizations like Vox, Masters of Cuckoldry, even write articles at Christmas time about how Islam loves Jesus, and how Muslims believe that Jesus performed miracles and that he was holy.
It says the Quran talks about Christians with respect, and it does. I mean, you've got Allah saying that Christians are closest in love to the Muslims. So we've got the Quran talking about Christians with respect. Is that correct, Christian Prince?
It's not enough that you worship Allah, we have to also, in our heart, hate what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, be pleased to Allah, and love what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves.
She says this principle relates to living with non-Muslims.
In order to hate what displeases to Allah, especially when living with this country that's non-Muslim.
Well, the Quran insults the Christians all over, and he say we are mushrikeen, we are the worst of the creatures, we are worse than animals. Allah, he hate us, chapter 5 verse 14. Chapter 5 verse 51, Allah says take not Christians and Jews as a friends. So when a Muslim he says Quran respect the Christian, that is really funny. So why Allah he will spread hate between us, and why we are the worst of the creatures?
First of all, in the Quran Kareem, Allah does not say kuffar or western swines and pigs and that. I don't know what Quran they're talking about, but the Quran we know it doesn't say
that Allah turned many of those Jews who broke the Sabbath and who committed otherwise transgressions into apes and pigs and made people hate them. This is mentioned in 3 parts of the Quran, and many Muslims over the last 1400 years and today have called Jews descendants of pigs and monkeys.
The books teach that other religions are worthless. One quotes a Quranic verse.
Those whom God has cursed, he turned into monkeys and pigs.
And in a footnote says,
it is said that the monkeys are the Jews, the pigs are the infidels of the table of Jesus, the Christians.
Show you verses Muhammad he said in the beginning of his life. Like in chapter 5 verse 69, Muhammad it says, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَالَّذِينَ هَادُوا وَالصَّابِئُونَ وَالنَّصَارَى, etc. Those who believe and those who they are Jews and Sabi and Nasara, they will go to heaven. This is in the beginning. But later Muhammad he says in chapter 5 verse number 72, the same chapter, just a few verses after, kuffar, they are kuffar, those who say Allah he is the Messiah, the son of Mary. So he called us kuffar. In chapter 5 verse number 82, this is the verse he is quoting for us. This is a verse not saying that we are good, no. You see, look, Muhammad, we mentioned like the guy who asked about he want to talk about Christian sect. Muhammad he was trying to what they call it, divide and conquer. So chapter 5 verse 82, he was saying, oh, the Christians are close to us, the Jews are the enemy. So he was trying to say to the Christians, don't worry, I'm going to kill the Jews only. And later, after he finished with the Jews, he switched to the killing the Christians. The chapter, the Tawbah actually happened after he killed all the Jews, not before. He finished with the Jews and he finished with all the enemies, and suddenly he came with the Tawbah 9:29 says, fight those who don't believe in Allah. He meant specifically the Christians, and he decided to attack the Roman in Tabuk.
Pinnacle, the crest, the summit of Islam is jihad.
In other narrations, Muhammad says that he will kick Christians and Jews out of the Arabian Peninsula.
طبعا احنا بنطلع عشان نوجه رسالة للكل، نوجه انه في اطفال فلسطينيين، يعني لسه احنا عايشين، في ناس برا بتعرف انه لا هم ماتوا بس اسرائيل، ما في شيء اسمه فلسطين. لا، احنا بدنا نقول انه فلسطين موجودة وفلسطين رح ترجع وما في شيء اسمه اسرائيل.
برافو عليك.
في شيء اسمه الاراضي المحتلة.
برافو صابرين، برافو برافو. أنا جايبة معها رسومات خارطة فلسطين، شايفين كيف خارطة فلسطين هاي كلها رح ترجع لنا إن شاء الله. كل الخارطة هاي رح ترجع لنا. المفتاح بالعكس، هاي الخارطة كلها أصدقائي رح ترجع لنا. صح يا ألما؟
صح.
هاي كلها إلنا صح؟ حتى لو أخذوها منا رح نرجعها بيوم من الأيام صح؟
صح.
and he will only leave Muslims there on the Arabian Peninsula. Very, very, very tolerant, isn't it?
إن الحديث عن صفات يهود له نمط خاص لأننا نتحدث عن قوم لم تبقى صفة قبيحة إلا ووسموا بها، وأقولها ليهود علنا: لقد آن أوان ذبحكم، لقد آن أوان قتالكم، لقد آن أوان قتلكم، وإنا بإذن الله لها نحن والمسلمين الصادقين المخلصين وجيوش دولة الخلافة الإسلامية التي ستأتي إلى هذه الأرض لتحررها من أدناسكم، ونحن ننتظر اليوم وننتظر اللحظة ولن نرحم. اللهم عجل بهذا اليوم يا الله، اللهم عجل بيوم يهود يا الله، اللهم عجل بيوم قتلهم، اللهم عجل بيوم قتالهم.
So what about the blood money? Even the blood money is half of a human. The blood of a Christian or a Jew is equal to half of a human, because only Muslims are a human according to Islam. Do you see it? It is half of the blood money of a free Muslim. By the way, free Muslim, it's mean a white Muslim, because if you are a black Muslim and you get killed, I mean, you are a potato anyway. They hate you. They don't care for the black one. That's why it says a free Muslim.
Let's open up with the very first chapter, the Fatiha. Those who cause you anger are what?
He replied, they are the Jews.
The Jews are those who cause you anger. And who are those who lead you astray? Who can those be? You don't know. See, Muslims are praying this 5 times a day, and they haven't looked at the commentaries. They haven't looked at the exegesis of this verse. They've not looked at the commentaries behind this verse. The commentaries is right there. You can read it. It's in English. So who are those who are led astray?
Christians.
In fact, this is known as the cursing prayer, is it not?
Yes.
This is the cursing prayer. They're cursing Jews and Christians 5 times a day. This is how they begin.
Yes.
The rakas, are they not?
Yes.
Now, folks, we're taking this right out of the Quran.
غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. المغضوب عليهم. That means basically the one that Allah is angry with, right? When Allah is angry, that means He's not really happy, right? So He's cursing them. And who are those who are getting cursed? Are the Jews. The Jews are the ones who get cursed, and the one who are misguided, al-maghdubi alayhim wad-dallin, those are the Christians. The misguided ones are us, the Christians, and the ones who are getting cursed are the Jews. So yes, Muslims, they repeat the curses of Allah 5 times a day at least. Even if it's a Shia or Sunni, doesn't matter. If you ask them who is the one who is cursed according to Islam, they will say the Jews. And who are the misguided? The Christians. So yeah, they simply repeat the curses of Allah 5 times a day.
نريد أن نسمع صوت الحجر وأن نسمع صوت الشجر أن ينادي على المسلم فيقول له: يا مسلم يا عبد الله، هذا يهودي ورائي، تعال فاقتله، إلا الغرقد فإنه من شجر اليهود. اعلموا إخواني أن البشر يكرههم، وأن الحجر يكرههم، وأن الشجر يكرههم، فكل ما على هذه الأرض يكره هذه الملة النجسة.
ما شاء الله، شو حبت فينا؟ الحديث شريف. تفضل. يقول رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم: لا تقوم الساعة حتى تقاتلوا اليهود، هم شرقي النهر وأنتم غربيه، حتى يقول الحجر والشجر: يا مسلم يا عبد الله، تعال وراء يهودي فقاتله.
We Muslims have been ordered to do brainwashing.
So let's just stay on this for a second. The hadith So Muhammad says that every tree and stone will tell the Muslims about the Jews and will ask the Muslims to kill the Jews. And there will be one tree which is a traitor tree. That tree is called Gargat, and that tree belongs to the Jews. That's why the tree will not reveal the location of the Jew. Muslim conspiracy theorists keep creating stories about Jews planting that tree everywhere in Israel.
أن يكون ذلك اليوم قريبا اللهم رد كيد الكافرين اللهم رد كيد الكافرين في نحرهم اللهم اهلك ملة الكفر أجمعين اللهم مكننا من رقابهم اللهم احفظ المسجد الأقصى من كل سوء اللهم طهره من دنس يهود
لتجدن أشد الناس عداوة للذين آمنوا اليهود والذين أشركوا.
The kuffar are kuffar. Who cares what they do? They do the most evil, filthy things. The disbelievers, the evil, wicked, mischievous people. Balak, you can see the evil in that face. Do not mix with people who do not prostrate to the oneness of Allah Ta'ala, who do not prostrate to the Almighty Lord. Keep far away from people like that. The leader of pride or arrogance are no other than the Jews. Wallahi, they got the most extreme racial pride in them. An abominated, filthy, disgusting, gross belief. Their time will come, like every other evil person's time will come.
Hitler didn't want to exterminate the Jews at the time, he wanted to expel the Jews. And Hajj Amin al-Husseini went to Hitler and said, if you expel them, they'll all come here. So what should I do with them? He asked. He said, burn them.
So everyone, when you're looking at Quran verses and you think, oh, that sounds nice, so you have to kind of try and piece those together in order. When Muhammad starts out as a prophet, it was, according to him, it's, hey, I'm Muhammad and the Muslims are with the Jews and we're with the Christians. It's all of us monotheists together against the polytheists, the idolaters. And then he moves to Medina, the Jews reject him, and then, hey guys, it's me, the Muslims, and the Christians, and we're together against the Jews and the polytheists. They're the enemies here. And then by the end, as Christian Prince pointed out, it's fight everyone. It's Islam versus everyone. So my Muslim friends, that may work with, your Christian friend down the street. If you're talking to Christian Prince, you're not gonna pull off the Quran talked about Christians with respect. It's just not gonna work here. So get a better position.
David,
yeah.
What about to say to him, I want to say to you, you are kafir. Let us see what he will do. Let us say, I'm going to say to you, you are najis. Isn't it Muhammad? He says that the Christian, the Jews, all who don't believe in Allah are najis. Najis means filthy, dirty. So if I call you najis now, is that respect? I mean, they say silly stuff. Those things can work with those who do not know. Don't try those tricks with us. You have no idea you are talking to who.
And if there is any Muslim, he have the courage and the knowledge to debate me, let me know. I am the Christian Prince, and I am the nightmare of your God, the pimp, the vagina vendor, Muhammad. We know that there is no Allah. We know that this is a fiction, stupid God. We know that this is a pagan God, never exist. And we know who is the true God of Islam. It is Muhammad. If you say the F word, nobody even get upset. But if you say the F word to Muhammad, they will chop you pieces. For they worship Muhammad, not Allah.
A crowd started to gather. The men were chanting in Arabic, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. And my father and I, as I was holding his hand, were pushed to the front of this crowd. In the center of this crowd was an Arabic woman dressed just like this, and she was tied up and she was sitting on a box. Next to her was an Arabic man, and he did a traditional Islamic prayer on the floor. And he got up from the floor, and from his side he pulled out this very long golden sword, and he beheaded the woman. My legs are shaking, and my heart is going fast. And my father said, if you don't listen to the teachings we're instilling in your life, this will happen to you one day. I was born and raised in a small country by the name of Kuwait, a community of 98% Muslim population. 2 of my uncles are imams, and 1 is president of a mosque, where I would hear the call to prayer 5 times a day. As a Muslim, the word Yahudi, which means Jew, was instilled in me as a bad word, as a cuss word. Yahudis should not exist. They should be killed, and I never thought to question why would I hate them. I never met Jewish people in my life. They never did anything to harm my family. I just hated them. Just the word brought hatred in my heart. It's very important to learn the Quran and the Hadith and even memorize it in Arabic. I even entered a competition where you recite a long chapter in front of Islamic leaders and teachers. And I came 2nd place. I thought I did a good job. But my father said, no, that's not good enough. Most of my life for me, it was alone, by myself, broken person, in need of love from my family, but I never received it from them. I tried to experience this love from Creator God, from Allah. In my prayer times, I lifted up my hands and I cried out to Allah for help. Please have my father stop beating my mother. Please have my father stop beating me. But no help came. God is not a personable God to Muslims. God doesn't say, I love you. Saddam Hussein forces came in the middle of the night and invaded the small country of Kuwait. And then they came to my city and they destroyed property and they looted people's home and they stole possessions and they killed the men and they raped the women. Then we were granted asylum status to stay in the US. My grandmother suddenly got very sick. She had a heart attack and she went to the hospital. And 2 days later, she passed away. I was devastated because I lost my best friend. And this lady approached me and asked me if I was okay. And I said, no, Paula, my grandmother died. And I just started to cry again. At that moment, I was hurting so much, only crying helped. And Paula came to me and put her arms around me and she gave me a hug. And then she asked me a question. Would you like to go to church with me? When I walked into this church, I experienced love from these people and acceptance from these people like I've never before. Fellowshipping together. They were men and women together. They didn't have to be separate. No one was judging each other. And they knew I was Muslim. They were so friendly to me themselves, accepting of me and loving of me. And that was really surprising to me. And for the first time in my life, I heard a message from the Bible. He started reading the message about Yeshua. When he walked into the synagogue, he was given a scroll from Prophet Isaiah, and he opened the scroll and he started reading that scripture. That the Spirit of the Sovereign Lord is upon me, because he has anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. He has sent me to heal the broken heart and to proclaim liberty to the captive and freedom of sight to those who are bound, to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor. First time I heard these words of freedom and healing and liberty. I'm desperate to be freed from bondage. I was held captive in Islam and I wanted to be freed from that. I was blinded with so much hatred in my heart. The darkness broke from my eyes. The veil came off my heart. I knew the decision I was making to leave Islam is a big decision. By Sharia Law, Islamic Law, it is death penalty. But I'm desperate to know a living God. In that day, I gave my life to becoming a follower of Jesus. This is the God of Israel, God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And the nation of Israel is God's heartbeat. And I said, God, forgive me. I did not know I hated your people. I love the Jewish people because it's their God, their Messiah that I'm following, and He told me to love them. I never knew what happened to the 6 million Jews that died. I never heard that in Kuwait in history. Now that I met Holocaust survivors, I know their story, and I shared my story with them. Your God, your Messiah, changed my heart, giving his life for me, so I can have life everlasting. He rescued me, he saved me, he came and brought joy in my life again, and I'm a blessed woman. And I start crying, and they start crying, and we are able to relate to each other, and they embrace me, and they love me, and they experience some healing, I believe, when they hear my story. That is a privilege to have that in my life. I am one for Israel.